Source.
America, you got us laughing our pants and skirts off. It's America's funniest home video.
Now, fortunately, there is relief on the horizon.
James Spann brings you the forecast next on the Alabama Evening News.
Win a new camper at the Greater Birmingham RV Show, February 16th, 17th, and 18th at the Birmingham Racecourse. Compare features and prices on most every name brand motorhome, travel trailer, fifth wheel, and pop-up. All on display at one location. Special low prices for this show only with dealer incentives like cash rebates, free awnings, color TVs, or microwave ovens. Special bank rates for this show only. Enjoy the horse racing and don't miss the Greater Birmingham RV Show at the Birmingham Racecourse, 10 a.m. till 7 p.m. each day.
At Marks Fitzgerald, we're cutting the price on half our furniture half off for President's Day. Marks Fitzgerald's half sale. It's a knockout.
Watch After Hours tonight at 12:05, only on Channel 6.
Now, from Alabama's News Channel, Scott Richards, Janet Hall, James Spann with the weather, Rick Carley with sports, and 6 on Your Side with Brenda Ladonna. Alabama's news source. This is Channel 6, the Alabama Evening News.
The scene in East Alabama as waters rise. And in Central Alabama, where an apparent tornado left a path of destruction. And this is the scene near Birmingham, where part of a major road is giving way. Good evening, I'm Scott Richards.
And I'm Janet Hall. Thanks for joining us tonight. The most serious problem right now, flooding and how to deal with it. That's where our team report begins tonight. 2 threatened areas are Tuscaloosa and Northport in West Alabama. The Black Warrior River is reaching its crest right now, 13 feet above flood stage in some places. And you can see what it's doing. Some houses and businesses here in Northport are heavily damaged. A flood warning continues all along the Black Warrior River. Many people are heeding that warning by taking part in an evacuation of bank areas. The worst of the flooding in some areas may occur tomorrow or even Sunday.
It's been a rough day for folks who live along the Coosa. Our team coverage continues with Diana Michaels of our Anniston-Gadsden Bureau, who brings you a look at what folks in East Alabama are going through.
Look at what families in this Gadsden neighborhood found this morning when they opened their front door.
I had to rush in and we put some things in suitcases and everything up off the floor we could get up and get out before the water got in.
But the floodwaters from Black Creek, up to 5 feet deep in some places, are already inside most homes. They're moving so swiftly that rescue workers used boats to evacuate residents.
We had 3 people walking up the road back here behind us here. The current started getting a hold of them and we got them to stop and we went out in the boat and picked them up in the boat.
Flooding also washed away a lot of roads here in Northeast Alabama, like this one here in Fort Payne, where the asphalt was completely peeled from the ground, closing off access to the nearby hospital. Doctors and nurses on their way to work this morning had to be taken in by boat.
I could say now I've been to work in just about every vehicle there is possible.
Wills Creek was as much as 30 feet deeper than normal during the worst part of the flood. In Northeast Alabama, Diana Michaels, Channel 6, the Alabama Evening News.
Now, Wills Creek, that Diana just referred to, is now receded, but Black Creek in Gadsden is still spilling over into neighborhoods. People who live along the banks are being warned to keep an eye on the floodwaters because they could rise more before the night is over.
Highway 31 between Lakeshore Drive and Shades Crest Road is closed tonight, and this is the reason. Look at this. A massive landslide caused by last night's torrential rainfall has damaged the highway. The fill dirt under the road went with the hillside as it washed away. The northbound lanes may be reopened by Monday. Meanwhile, you'll have to use alternate routes such as Columbiana Road, Highway 280, or I-65. Well, last night marked the second time in 2 weeks that Helena has been pounded by Mother Nature. Some parts of the area received more than 10 inches of rain in a 12-hour period. And you're looking at some of the results of that downpour. This gap used to be a bridge on County Road 91 connecting Helena to Coalmount. There are no injuries reported in Helena, but damage estimates are expected to be very high.
And there are other trouble spots in Shelby County, too. The rising waters were a rude awakening for some folks. Ken Ravich continues our team coverage from Donovan, where 8 families found themselves cut off from the rest of the world.
These folks are stuck on that side of the creek, and they have no way out, at least for now. It's Shoal Creek, located in northeast Shelby County. And the people who live around here say it's never been this bad before. We communicated by shouting across the water. They're concerned about babies who will need milk and diapers.
When I get home, I'll call you and see if we can't figure out someone to get the baby stuff.
The stranded residents say it may take 3 or 4 days for the water to subside. There's also concern about one man who recently had surgery.
Mr. Putman over across the creek is sick, and we're kind of worried about him because he just had surgery, and we're wondering, you know, if he's going to be okay during the time it takes for this to recede.
As you can see, the current is very strong, probably too strong to get a boat in here. And there's a bridge behind me. It's between me and the other side. But right now, they don't know if that bridge is still there. Since there is no emergency right now, it's not expected there will be any rescue attempts for the folks stuck on the other side of the creek. So for now, it looks like the 8 families will have to band together and wait it out. Kendra Veach, Channel 6, the Alabama Evening News.
Late this afternoon, emergency officials were still assessing all the damaged areas in Shelby County.
In Vance, there was no time to wait for rescue. 5 rescue workers formed a chain to pull Larry Hendricks across floodwaters. The man had passed out after working to get his family removed from their stranded home. Hendricks was admitted to DCH Regional Medical Center. He's doing okay tonight.
Now, flooding is far from the only problem tonight. When we come back, the aftermath of tornado-like conditions.
But first, a look at more scenes from Alabama communities hit by this rough weather.
Oh, thanks. I'm not sure. 6.
Reason number 24 to see your Nissan dealer now. $1,200 cash back direct from Nissan on the rugged standard hardbody 4x2. That means right now you pay only $69.49. See your nearest Nissan dealer now, where satisfaction is standard equipment. Reason number 21 to see your Nissan dealer now, the Stanza Challenge. If you're thinking of buying a Camry, test drive a Stanza first. We're so sure you'll want the Stanza that if you still buy the Camry, we'll give you $100. Take the Stanza Challenge now at your nearest Nissan dealer.
Tonight, Michelle strikes a pretty pose.
I got a big mouth.
Full house. And who's babysitting whom?
I think he's playing Frogman in the toilet. One of my favorite water sports.
Family Matters.
In the closet.
Then there's an intruder in the house on Perfect Strangers.
Not you. Him.
Followed by just the 10 of us.
Then, on 2020, he charges that the man who made a fortune selling tender chicken is tough on his workers.
Starting tonight at 7 with Full House on Channel 6.
Just in time, Estee Lauder Research brings you Time Zone, the moisture recharging complex that addresses for the first time the multiple causes and effects of dry skin. This rich souffle cream reprograms, recharges, and rehydrates your skin, keeping it in a protective, timeless zone. Now for every skin that's dry before it's time, here's the solution, just in time. Now at Parisian, where you're somebody special.
Seems like it just won't end. For the 3rd time in 2 weeks, Alabama is dealing with tornadoes and their aftermath. Scott Adcock of our Montgomery newsroom continues our team report from Chilton County, where a twister hit this morning.
The tornado struck the Enterprise and Coopers community just after 7 a.m., dancing along a 5-mile area, snapping trees and wiping out mobile homes. Eunice Higgs was resting, recovering from recent surgery when it hit.
I jumped up and ran in the bathroom and got in the bathtub, and then there it all came down. And how I got out, I don't know.
This is their nerve pills right here.
Her daughter-in-law lived in this trailer.
I knew something was fixing to happen, and I grabbed my daughter and took her into the hallway and laid down on top of her. And it just sounded like a freight train, and everything else, it was gone. Next thing I knew, I was laying out in the yard.
Frank Higginbotham's trailer used to sit on these concrete blocks, but when the tornado hit, it threw Frank and his family about 15 yards and scattered his trailer everywhere.
Next thing I know, I went to the door, and the whole wall caved in on me. So I took my little girl, and I cradled her arm like this, to protect her. And we went to the back side of the trailer.
Frank's wife was visibly shaken. Well, you're alive.
Yeah, I'm glad that we are, and I'm thankful that we are. Very much.
The Enterprise Volunteer Fire Department was wiped out. Nearby units will be able to provide fire protection. In Chilton County, Scott Edcock, Channel 60, Alabama Evening News.
Boy, you feel for those folks, don't you? State emergency management officials say damage will run close to $500,000.
There's also heavy wind damage east of Chilton County. The devastating winds ripped through part of Coosa County this morning. Some folks say it was a tornado. Whatever hit, it hit about 3 a.m., leaving a mile-long path of destruction. Take a look at what's left of this huge building. It was a building. 2 car washes were also destroyed, and a trucker says he saw this horse blown from one pasture to the next. The horse is okay, and there are no serious injuries to people in Coosa County. In Maplesville, 94 cattle are trying their best to get back to dry land. The Parnell family says their cattle were trapped soon after the rains came. The animals can't get over that big methane gas line in the foreground there that runs through one section of the land. Some of the cattle were swept away by rising water.
Well, there is some other news besides weather to report today. Birmingham Police Chief Arthur Deutsch unveiled his crime-fighting plan today at the direction of Mayor Arrington. The chief's plan essentially calls for his department to work more closely with community crime-fighting groups. The mayor liked the plan. The individual groups are looking it over now. Almost 200 students have withdrawn from Selma's public schools this week. They left school following last week's sit-in, which closed schools most of the week. The protest is over the school board's plan to release Superintendent Norwood Roselle. Roselle is Selma's first black school superintendent. Now, most of the students who withdrew from the public schools are white. Roselle says he believes some of them, though, will eventually return.
Well, here's an arithmetic question. How many dollars worth of pennies does it take to fill an 8x4 fish tank? We'll show you in just a few minutes.
And when we come back, James Spann updates the weather situation for tonight and the weekend.
Get ready for the incredible. Begin with the sticker price of Cutlass Calais. Less $600 for qualified first-time buyers of Cutlass financing with GMC. Now here's what's incredible. Factory-to-dealer incentives of up to $1,750 mean you could make a much better deal on top of the low sticker price. On top of the $600 first-time buyer rebate. The first-time buyer price of $98.40 and dealer incentives of up to $1,750 mean you can make your best deal on Cutlass Calais now. See your Southern Olds family dealer today.
Marvin's, where you're guaranteed the lowest prices. You hear a lot of promises today about low prices. At Marvin's, it's guaranteed. Find any item advertised for less, and we'll beat it by 5%. Load up and save with 40 pounds of topsoil at Marvin's rock bottom price of 97 cents a bag. That's 97 cents at Marvin's. And economy 4x8 treated lattice panels, great for privacy screenings and deck trimming, just $5.79 at Marvin's. Shop with confidence and save at Marvin's Building Materials and Home Centers.
They say Colonial Bank is lending money. Well, I needed to borrow some. So I went in, and the guy said he'd have an answer for me in 90 minutes or less. He did. So then I asked, when's my first payment due? He said, not for 90 days. What kind of bank is this? I get a loan so fast, so easy, and no payments for 3 months? And he was so nice about it. What's the world coming to?
Offer available through March 31st for new consumer loans. Real estate loans not included.
It's sizzling hot. A deal with real meat to it. 6 meat toppings. Pizza Hut's new Meat Lovers Pizza. Now get 1 medium for $8.99. Better yet, get a second one for just $4 more.
Now, let me see. What's in the fridge for dinner? Olives, ketchup, and then here we got something furry. Okay, well, what's in the freezer? Oh, my golf shoes. That's where they went.
Don't worry. Pizza Hut delivers.
I can buy a truck and I can depend on it to be there and start when I need it.
It pays to drive a winner. That's today's Chevrolet.
It's a proven product. I know Chevrolet. I've driven them before. It hauls the loads that I need to be hauled. It has the gas mileage. It has dependability. It's always given us the ability to get up and go whenever we want to go.
From your Heart of Alabama Chevrolet Geo dealers.
The Channel 6 weather is brought to you by your Heart of Alabama Chevrolet dealers.
Well, people in Alabama continue to suffer and suffer even more from the weather we've had. We showed you pictures from all across the state. We need 5 or 7 days where we can just get a break from all this and get back to some sense of normalcy.
I tell you, Scott, this is just draining emotionally for a lot of people in the state, and the problem is we see another potential heavy rain event next week, the first part of next week, so at least we can enjoy dry weather over most of the weekend. And on the weather tonight, we're going to spend a lot of time on hydrology with this river flooding. That's a big problem. We'll talk a lot about that, plus the possibility of more rain next week. And here's the weather school question for tonight. This deals with barometric pressure, something that was very low at this time yesterday. Barometric pressure is caused by the wind, the Earth's rotation, or the air. We'll have the answer for that in a few minutes. Right now in Birmingham, it's cloudy. The temperature is cooling down nicely. That means the air is stabilizing. We have 59 degrees. The relative humidity 70%. The pressure rising, winds out of the west at 9 miles an hour. The high today was 67. Our low, the current temperature 59. Look at the rainfall total, 4.11 inches. A number of locations had between 4 and 10 inches of rain during the storm, and air quality in the good category with a count of 25. Let's start with some good news. Here's the regional radar. Notice most all of the rain is gone in Alabama. This is what's left of the heavy rain band that moved through the state earlier today down in southern Georgia and eastern South Carolina. All that's left now, a couple of patches of light rain in southwest and south central Alabama. Most of that should be out of the state by 8 or 9 o'clock tonight. Our main concern, the rivers. First off, let's talk the Coosa River. A flood warning is in effect. The Coosa should crest at Gadsden at 516 feet on Sunday. That will be greater than the flood situation back in 1979. That will cause extensive flooding in Gadsden. At Lake Logan Martin, the crest should come tomorrow at 468 feet, and down at Childersburg, 406 feet tomorrow. And again, all of the Coosa River is under a flood warning. Now, in the western part of the state, the Warrior River should be cresting about at this time in Tuscaloosa at 61 feet. The flood stage there at the Oliver Lock and Dam is 47 feet, so that's a significant flooding event, as you saw the pictures from that earlier. Down at the Warrior Lock and Dam near Utah, the crest will come 12 feet above flood stage at 42 feet on Sunday. And for the Tombigbee River further downstream at Demopolis, the crest will likely be Tuesday of next week at 62 feet. That is about 15 feet above flood stage. That will cause extensive flooding in the Demopolis area, especially a lot of camp houses up in southern Greene and southern Hale counties. And again, that's a flood warning for the Tombigbee River. Of course, we all know that rain has to go somewhere, and it winds up in the major rivers in the state. Very impressive national satellite view. Big upper air low here. Big strong thunderstorms along the Atlantic seaboard. That's what produced all the problems here, but that's gradually moving out to sea. And the weather is improving. Looking back to the west, you can see skies have cleared now through parts of western Tennessee and north Mississippi, and the clearing line should gradually work its way down through our state tonight. National forecast tomorrow. Good news. High pressure, dry air. We're looking for some sunshine, but the problem is this cold front will likely stall out, become stationary, then retreat northward as a warm front, and that could mean more rain as early as Sunday night, becoming more likely Monday and Tuesday of next week. Here's our weekend forecast for tonight. Clearing and colder. The overnight low down to 37. Tomorrow, a mostly sunny day, and boy, we need that. The high near 60. And there's the 5-day forecast. The news is not good for next week. The rain could return late Sunday, becoming more likely Monday through Wednesday of next week. And let's hope we don't have excessive rainfall this time.
That's not what we wanted to see.
Yeah. Barometric pressure is caused by the
air.
You guys say air, and of course, air molecules weigh something, and it's that weight that exerts pressure on the Earth's surface.
All right. Thank you, James. And now, new meaning to the old adage, a penny saved is a penny earned. Tuesday, we told you about this fundraiser at Brookwood Village Mall. The Meals on Wheels program hoped to collect more than $69,000, 1/100th at a time. They asked folks to pitch in all their spare pennies, and today the loot was totaled. All these little pictures of Lincoln add up to $10,000, short of their goal. The money will go to help feed elderly folks who are homebound.
Short of the goal, but a lot of folks still get help.
Yeah.
Well, how long will a baseball lockout last? Mike Radio talks with former baseball manager Chuck Tanner next.
And you'll get the latest from Daytona as our Speed Week coverage continues.
To me, it's like driving a Cadillac compared to the Ford that I had prior to this.
It pays to drive a winner. That's today's Chevrolet.
The drivetrain's solid. It's not really anything that you have to worry about. There's so many of them out there that have been out there for a long time that you got to feel good about that. Being a mechanic and working hard for my money, and it was great. I had a nice feeling about it, and I still do.
From your Heart of Alabama Chevrolet Geo dealers.
The going out of business sale continues at all 3 Jones Lawless locations. Over 8,000 suits and sport coats, all 50% off at Jones Lawless, Eastwood, Brookwood, and River Chase.
Marks Fitzgerald's gone half crazy. For President's Day, they've marked half the furniture half off. The half sale at Marks Fitzgerald, where almost everything's half off.
Don't miss the Great Gun and Knife Show this weekend at the Northport Civic Center, Tuscaloosa, Saturday 9 to 6 and Sunday 10 to 5. Admission only $3 and children under 10 are free. This weekend only. The Great Gun and Knife Show. Don't miss it.
The disappearing sale is happening this weekend at all California waterbed superstores.
At sale prices like these, our spectacular selection of waterbeds is being snapped up like that and like that. It's fantastic. If you want a great buy on a great waterbed, you'd better hurry, because when they're gone, whoa, they're gone.
So hurry in now and see our great selection of Sealy waterbeds before the great sale prices disappear.
Hoover Toyota is having an allocation liquidation. Huge shipments have arrived at Hoover Toyota, and truckloads more are on the way. Over 150 new Toyotas have been allocated and must be sold to improve future allotments. Big savings now. 90 Tercel, only $129 a month. 90 Celica, 30 to choose from, as low as $12,988. Top Toyota trucks, now only $139 a month. The allocation liquidation going on now at Hoover Toyota, 1 mile north of the Galleria on Highway 31. Hoover has it.
Well, baseball fans, take heart. There may be a glimmer of hope here in the negotiations.
Donald Fear, the negotiator for the players, has said after today's meetings that he thinks the owners want to get it over with. Arbitration, though, is still the big stumbling block. As it stands now, a player can take an owner to salary arbitration after his third year in the big leagues if that player is not happy with the money he's making. The owners would like to completely do away with arbitration. The players, though, would like to be eligible for arbitration after 2 years instead of 3. We're very happy to have Chuck Tanner, former manager of the White Sox, the A's, Pirates, Braves. He joins us now from our newsroom. He's in town to speak at tonight's Birmingham Southern Baseball Banquet. Chuck, thanks a lot for being with us. We appreciate it. What is your opinion? Do you see an end in sight in the baseball conflict?
Mike, it'll be settled. The owners want to play. The players want to play. There's over 100 players in the major leagues that make over $1 million a year. Careers come, careers go, and you have a short span in your life, and you want to enjoy it, and baseball's the greatest.
Let's talk about you now. We have some pictures of you from your days in Atlanta. Certainly not the happiest days in your career because your team didn't win, I'm sure, as much as you would have liked. But even despite all the losing, you always seem to have that same enthusiasm that you enjoyed in Pittsburgh.
Well, we had the program going in the right direction. We improved it. We finished 5th one year. We had made great progress. They decided to make a change, and so consequently, I had to go home.
Very quickly, 1979, you won the World Series with the Pirates. Was that the biggest thrill of your baseball career?
I would say so. When you win a World Series, it's the top of the mountain, and when you start out in baseball, you want to be a major leaguer, then you become a manager, win the World Series. There's not much more. I would just like to do it one more time, and my plans are I will.
Okay, well, Chuck Tanner, thanks a lot for being with us. Chuck Tanner saying maybe he will manage again. I'd like to see it. He's a great guy and did a great job with all the ball clubs he was with. Now, let's talk some basketball. The UAB Blazers are the co-champs, not because of anything they did, though. They lost last night to UNCC for the 6th straight time, UAB's co-champs, because South Florida also lost. Blazers could win the title outright if they win another league game or South Florida loses another league game. Last night, Blazers got hurt on the boards bad by UNCC. They were out-rebounded 44-27. Broadhurst right here strong on the offensive glass. Still, the game was close after 30 minutes, but that's when the 49ers really turned it on. Cedric Ball inside plus the foul. He had 20. Blazers lose 86-72. They're at DePaul on Saturday. Also last night, the Panthers of Birmingham Southern got a big win over arch rival Auburn Montgomery. AUM tried some rough stuff. They even had a player ejected. Panthers, meanwhile, strong on the glass. Jack Skipper gets it down. He had 15. And then, watch this. This is Fred Martinier off the alley-oop. He throws it down. BSC now 21-3 on the season as they beat AUM 80-74. Now, we heard from Rick Carley at 5 o'clock live from Daytona. We mentioned that some of the guys are having handling problems there. The crews either setting the cars up maybe too loose or too tight, but don't blame them for the troubles. The weather really playing havoc with the track. 1 minute it's sunny, the next minute it's cloudy, heating the track up and just cooling it down.
We haven't figured out the right combination yet. We still didn't have the car handling right. That's what we're having to work on now because so many other people have made so much progress.
And tonight at 10, we'll hear more about Davey Allison. You know he's got a brand new baby.
Yeah.
And so trying to keep the racing team together, trying to keep his wife, traveling with him, and now they got the baby to contend with, as you will soon learn all about that.
A young man with a lot on his mind.
That's right. And also we ought to mention that Alabama tomorrow plays Kentucky down in Tuscaloosa at 7:30. Rick Pitino's guys really playing well, and we got to wonder now about Alabama. They've lost 2 in a row, and we got to wonder if, if they're going to be able to win this one.
Thank you, Mike.
Sure.
A lot of folks are sick and tired of water tonight. One woman, though, is full of joy.
We'll bring you her story when we come back.
Crown Automobile is Alabama's luxury car leader. Volvo owners agree.
I wanted a car that was going to last forever, and Volvos are both. They're safe, they're dependable, they'll go